Greetings of the day, learners. In the subject of sales and distribution management, today our learning objective for this lecture will be territory management. Then we are going to see the sales budget, and last part will be the of sales quotas. The lecture, let's just start it with this lecture from territory management. So students, sales territory management is more important than many may realize nowadays. It can boost your sales team's morale, as well as it will increase the sales for your company. It will provide a larger customer base and inspire team cohesionness or coordination between them. So, what is it and what do you need to focus or for efficient management of sales territories? We are going to discuss all those points in this lecture. So friends, territory management is about aligning sales resources with the revenue potential based on areas. The basic concept is to divide up a market into multiple sections so that sales representative can each focus on their own one. The most common ways to do this is based on the geographical areas using cities or zip codes or state. But however, you can also divide your territories based on the vertical segment or the type of product they are using or the customers type of product that customer are likely to buy. So likewise, smart sales territory management enables organization to align their resources with revenue opportunities. It allows representatives to make the best use of their time, and they will focus on the most promising clients, and they will minimize their travel time also. So the territory management will help them to spend more time selling and less time on ancillary tasks that do not contribute to the bottom line of your sales. Now this approach also reduces the potential for conflict within the teams, since they do have very clear vision and clear division of their ownership as well as the customer relationship. So without territories, sales team may fight over the right to go after valuable customers, which is an inefficient use of resources. So territory management is a customer group or geographic area over which either an individual salesperson or a sales team has a responsibility. These territories are usually defined based on the geographical area, as we have already discussing it. Or you can define these territories on the basis of sales potential or the history or a combination of all those factors, and you can divide your market into sales territories. So the ultimate aim of this division of areas is to maximize sales and profits and allocate the resources of organization in efficient and effective manner. Okay, so it is very important to create the sales territories which that are balanced. So when a sales territory is out of balance, there will be two things which can happen. So suppose a territory is under service, the salesperson or the sales team is spread too thinly, and then that will lead into the optimal level of suboptimal level of activities. So those responsible for the territories will seek out few leads, and they will identify little prospect, and they will spend too much time. They will spend too little time with the customer because they are overworked, and this will lead into the customer going to the competitors one. and ultimately you will be losing your sales. Over-servicing in a territory is where the sales team has too little work and too many team members to service a small area. So what will happen in that case is that will raises your cost and prices, and overall which ultimately leads to reducing. So precious resources of your organization will not be being utilized in more important areas, and again that will lead to underservicing in other areas, and that will ultimately reduces your sales, right? So next is, suppose you have unbalanced territories that can also be cause many problems. So some of these will be it will be include as the unfair distribution of sales potential among the sales forces, or distorted compensation among the sales representatives. More sales representative can leave the company to seek out a better balance and compensation elsewhere. So they can shift from your company to another company. So one of these things people can do to form a good sales strategies is they will first they will do a sales potential forecasting, which we have already discussed in earlier lecture, and that will help to determine the sales target, and it will identify the area which are the worthy to allocate your efficient resources. There will be three main reasons why sales management usually employs territories. The first important reason for doing so will be, territories can be customer related, which will increase your market coverage, and ultimately it will provide the better customer service, and this will make you the highest ultimately result into the higher sales figure and greater the customer satisfaction. The second reason will be it can be related to the salespeople themselves, because it will increase the enthusiasm and motivation in teams. It will give it is very great for efficient performance evaluation. It will decrease the employee turnover, while providing, you can provide them a reward potential for amount of efforts they are taking into their territories. The last reason can be related to the management. So control is enhanced with the territory allocation. You can do your sales control in a very efficient manner. Then it will play important role for promotion coordination. And then it will provide potential for staff incentives. Again, better allocation of cost will be happen if you are doing a sufficient if you are doing the efficient territory management. Now, if we are talking so much about the territory management, we will see how to create an effective territory plan, which will be important part of your sales management also. So first step in the creating sales territory plan will be the first review market opportunities. So we have to identify where our market opportunities lies in this step. So here we are going to discuss like what are the high value customer, where are the high value customers are located, which kind of clients will be interested in your product or services which you are promoting, or there will be any areas or sectors where competitors are outperforming than you. So you have to find out those areas also. You can conduct a review of market, which will enable you to gain a broad overview about your organization and where your sales potential lies. That can be you can get the answer about it in by reviewing market opportunities. So you can do a basic SWOT analysis framework, which will help you for this step. So you can look after your strength, weaknesses, opportunity and threats, and that will inform you to plan a more strategic perspective towards territory management. Next you can do is evaluate your resources. So you have to find out how many fields sales representative or sales consultant do you have, or how many customers are they how many customers are they able to deal with, or you have to develop a new business, or you have to develop a building relationship with the customers, or you have to create the quality sales proposals. So that will take time. So here you have to think like you don't want to be over ambitious with how much your team can handle, and that is why in the second step you will evaluate your personal resources, and you will see that whether they are aligned with their market opportunities, which we are studied in the step number 1. So here we will get the answer of some question like do we have some do we have enough sales representative in the location with the most customer lives, or is there any adequate ratio of sales representative to the field based consultant to ensure that all field sales consultants are fully supported or not. So this will enable you to develop a plan that will align resources with your step number one, that is market opportunities, and you will ensure that maximum productivity will be there across your team. The next step you have is you have to define the sales territories. So here what we are doing is, at this point you will be having some enough information to start your defining your sales territories. So how you will decide to divide them up will depend on the industry or the business objective. The most important thing is to have clear lines so that everyone in the team knows exactly what or where is their responsibility. So the defining sales strategies will enable everyone to focus their efforts instead of spreading themselves too thinly. So from a representative perspective also, it will means that you can develop your own individual territory plan, which will be help you to going forward. Next point will be you have to create your sales plan. So a sales plan is nothing but a step-by-step breakdown of how you will generate the revenue, or how you will generate the sales for your organization. So it will created by the management, and that sales plan will be allocated for each territory. So the plan will outline the territory goals and the objective along with the strategies, various strategies and specific tactics for achieving those desired goals. So it should be included in a section on how to track the. It also includes a section that how to track the performance of sales representative, how to measure their success. All the stuff will be discussed. Will be included in a sales plan. Now, most of the sales organization include the pipeline information in their plan, like working backwards from your revenue goal to the how many customer will be needed to generate enough sale, or what proportion of pitches do you have to win, or therefore how many prospect you are needed. Perspective needed for each territory, or how many sales in the quantity or sales in a unit should be uh, done in from specific territory, that can be given in a sales plan. The next step you have is have to review your progress regularly. So once your action plan is being implemented, it is very important to review it on a regular basis, so that will allow you to see whether it is working as the desired one, or need some adjustment. So evaluating will help you to work well, and that will be improved as an important part of your professional development also. So if suppose you are a sales manager, then you can ask your representative to do their self review as well as conduct their own assessment. So by reviewing progress regularly will ultimately help for more efficient sales territory management. So it will ensure that the organization is operating at their highest potential. So that's it for territory management. The next learning topic we have is sales budget. So student in what is sales budget? So sales budget is prepared to forecast the quantity which the entity expect to sell and the amount of revenue that can be generated from the sale. So of such expected quantity in the future period, which is based on the management's judgment related to the competition in the market, economic condition will be judged, production capacity will be judged, consumer current market demands will be judged, or the past trends of your products will be judged, and accordingly you will forecast the quantity of your product which to forecast the quantity which will your organization is expect to sell, and it will also include the amount of revenue that the organization is expecting to be generated from that sale. So as you can see, there are four components of sales budget. In four components, the first one we have is sales quantity. So considering the demand for the product in the past trend, the management will forecast the quantity that they are expect to sell to the customer in the upcoming period. So it can be prepared for a month or a quarter or a year as per the management vision requirement. The second you have is sales revenue in rupees. The second thing that the management should consider the amount of sales revenue that a management thinks of earnings from that expected sale quantity. Next you have its expenses. So the expenses will be also considered as an essential part of that sales budget, because the estimated expenses vary with the nature of the business, and the expenses may include expected raw material cost or labor cost, or the salary expenditure says, or other expenses that can manage expect to incur shortly. Also here that in expenses will also include there will might have some expenditure which might arises in nearby future, so those are also included in the sales budget. The last component will be the collection of cash. So the estimation of collection cash is also a part of sales budget, as there are different types of customers in the business, which some pay in cash and while other choose to option of credit purchase. So the management will estimate using the past recovery trend that the amount which is expected to be recovered in the upcoming period. So these are the components of sales budget. Now, moving further with the advantage of sales budget, the first advantage will be it will act as a guide for organization. As we are keep on saying that it provides the target that the management expect to achieve in the coming period, and accordingly you set your targets. You will motivate your employees to work hard towards achievement of those desired goals, and that is why it is act as a guide for an organization. The second point you have is With the help, with the budget figure you have in your hand, the employees know that, employees know well in advance that the limit of expenditure which they could incur on specific activities in predetermined period. So thereby keeping the control over the business expenditure and getting the desired result is set by the management for the business with the help of sales budget. Next you have is it is considered to be the yardstick of the measurement of business sales performance and the progress. So thereby assessing the areas where the business needs growth or the improvement for increasing the earning potential that can be identified with the help of sales budget. The next advantage you have is it will help to allocate the business resources in more efficient manner. So you can make your sales territories wisely so that your funds can be utilized at their optimal level, and ultimately that will help you to achieve your desired objectives. Now, what will be the disadvantage of sales budget? So, what happens is preparation of sales budget is very time consuming process. So, it needs a lot of management's time and efforts. Now, the second will be it is based wholly on the management judgment and estimation. So, the usefulness or the accurateness of this sales or the expenditure is generally not possible in today's scenario. And especially when there is more competition, and sometimes the market is very unpredictable nowadays. Next you have is different person have different opinions about the sales and sales budgetary expenditure. So not all the employees in the organization will be willing to accept the budget as prepared by the top level management. Next disadvantage will be for the newly established company. It will be very tough to prepare the sales budget, as in they don't have any historical data to support or to calculate their budgets. So they don't have any past sales level, or they don't have any trends which are available, trend reports which are available. So as in there will be lack of essential base for preparing of that budget. For newly established company, it will be very tough. So what will be the important points when we are talking about the sales budget? That is the business that has existed for a long year and has past historical data can prepare sales budget effectively and accurately as compared to the business which is new, and as in they can prepare the budget using the sales forecasting strategies and not by following the past trend. So the preparation of the sales budget in the small business will be more tough, as it will be tougher than the existing one, because also they have fewer resources which is available with their business, and they can experience more market fluctuation as compared to the large businesses. So it can be concluded that the sales budget forecasts the sales and expenditure of the businesses, giving them targets to the employees of the business to achieve the desired output with the minimum expenditure. And it is generally prepared by the organization, wherein small or large or new or old. So generally prepared by the organization's management, top management. So different organizations adopt the different strategies and policy for preparing this sales budget, depending upon the nature of business as well as the nature of industry they are into. The next topic which we are going to discuss in this lecture is sales quotas. So sales quotas are the sum of the total sales of future period and duties to achieve the component of total sales by each salesperson are handed down to them and at the beginning of that period. So it is expected performance objective for each salesperson. Now quotas are routinely assigned to the customer sales unit, such as like departments or divisions or individuals, and then they proceed to reach at these quotas in their respective domain. So they are sales assignments or the goals which are to be achieved in a specific period of time. Now, when we say the sales quotas are the sum of the total sales of future period and duties which help you to achieve the components of total sales by each salesperson which are handed down to them at the beginning of period. According to Philip Kotler, a sales quota is the sales goal set for a product line, company division, or the sales representative. It is primarily a managerial device for defining and stimulating the sales efforts. So they are the sales assignments or goals, as we are keep saying, and these are the basic expectation of the top management, which are expressed in the amount form or in the unit form for a specific future period. So it is a part of company's total expected market share, which is assigned to the salespeople in their respective territory. It is a quantitative goal which is assigned to a specific marketing unit, such as salesperson or territory for time period. If we say that in the words of Cundiff and Stiff, they say that the sales quota is a quantitative goal assigned to specific marketing unit, such as to salesman or the territory. According to, like, in the words of Stanton a sales quota is a sales performance goal. It is assigned to a marketing unit or a salesperson, branch, or middleman of the customer. If we say that sales, if we get a sales quota, meaning in a one sentence, that can be like a sale quota is a sales goal or the sales target or the minimum sale level that a sales entity, now here entity will can be a team or the individual, aims to achieve in nearby future. So sales quotas are typically time sensitive because they are set to be reached on monthly basis or quarterly basis or yearly basis, and that can the sales quotas can be measured in the quantities or the amounts or the units sold, or even as a specific number of new customer, or you can measure a sales quota through various activity like product demonstration, etc. Now we will jump to the types of sales quotas. As you can see in the image, there are four types of quotas of sales. The first we have is sales volume quota. So as the name suggests, this always includes the sales in monetary terms or the unit sold for a specific period of time. So this type of sales quotas is always set for a given year, and the sales team are then assigned their yearly quotas to be accomplished. This sales volume quota can be set in areas like product line or the product range or the branch offices, or at the level of individual salesperson also. Okay. The next quota you have is profit quotas. So here what happens is this kind of profit quotas is very useful for FMCG companies, as there are various products which add to the varying level of profits, right? So the advantage of this type of sales quota is to salesperson can use their time optimally, and he or she can strive a balance between high and low profit yielding products. So basically here they will be giving them the target in the amount which will represent a particular percentage of your profit, and accordingly salesperson will work hard to achieve that desired goal or the profit quota. The next you have is uh, budget quotas. So again, as the name suggested, these are the budget quotas are those quotas which includes the cost aspect. So this will link your selling cost with a realistic time frame. So a few companies set these quotas for expenses to different sales level achieved by the salesperson. The sales team may be given an expenses budget or which is a percentage of particular region sales volume, and they have to spend those expense budget from that amount. So that is nothing but the budget quotas. The last type of quota is activity quotas. As the name suggests, again under such quotas the sales team is required to execute other activities that will have a long term bearing on the company's goodwill. So as we keeps as we always discuss that the sales management, uh, the customer relationship plays an important role in sales management, and that is why hereby uh, hereby we set an object which will give you activities quota. Like suppose the number of dealer visit, you can set those quotas, or the recovery calls which have been made by your sales representative to the customers, or how many new clients how many new clients procured by your salesperson, or how many what amount of calls your sales representative making to the customer, or how many sales presentation have been made by your sales representative. So all those activity based quotas will be included in activity quotas. So that's it for today's lecture.